Voiceover. If you hear music that doesn't echo, it's not meant for the living. Most stories begin with someone making a mistake. Mine begins with the kind of curiosity that doesn't let you sleep later. I was on a road trip to visit my cousin Daniel, who lived near the edge of a huge forest called Oak Rest Hollow. The kind of forest people only talk about in past tense. I'd arrived late, long after sunset, because a storm had rolled in and slowed everything down. By the time I pulled into his driveway, the woods behind the house were nothing but a wall of black. Daniel met me at the door with this look, not fear, not stress, something worse, like someone trying very hard to pretend everything is normal. He forced a smile. "Long drive? Come inside." But his eyes kept flicking to the forest. I joked, "What, you expecting something to walk out of those trees?" He didn't laugh. That night, I woke up to something strange. Music. A soft melody drifting from outside. A single violin playing a tune I'd never heard before. Slow, sad, and absolutely beautiful. But something felt wrong about it. I couldn't explain it. It was like listening to a lullaby with a missing heartbeat. I opened the window. The sound floated from the woods, clear and close. Too close. I whispered, "Daniel, do you hear that?" He didn't answer. His bed was empty. I found him in the living room, frozen at the back door, staring into the dark trees like a man fighting the urge to walk straight into them. "What are you doing?" I asked. He whispered, "Don't follow it. No matter what you hear, promise me." I asked him what it was. He didn't blink. Music that has no echo. I told him music always has an echo in the woods. "Not this one," he said. "That's how you know it doesn't belong here." When I leaned closer to listen again, the melody stopped, cut off instantly, like someone yanked the bow off the strings. Daniel grabbed my arm, voice shaking. "It stops when you notice it. That means it saw you." Saw me? I wanted to tell him he was being dramatic, but the way his hand trembled was not the kind of fear someone fakes. Morning came with no more music, no weirdness, nothing. Just normal sunlight and the smell of old pine. Daniel avoided the topic, acting like the night never happened. But something bothered me. Music doesn't travel like that. It doesn't stop mid-note. And it definitely doesn't come from nowhere. By noon, I decided to take a short walk into the woods. I told myself it was just fresh air and curiosity. But deep down, it was pride. I didn't want some imaginary melody haunting me like a scared child. The forest was calm, birds chirped, leaves moved. Nothing spooky. Until I reached an old trail that forked into 3 paths. That's when I heard it. The violin again. Soft, gentle, calling. I froze and listened carefully. The melody drifted through the trees without bouncing back. No echo, no depth, just there. That's when Daniel's words hit me. Music that has no echo doesn't belong here. I should have gone back, but curiosity feels like a hook once it sinks in. I followed the sound. The deeper I went, the stranger everything felt. The trees grew taller, but the air got quieter. Even my footsteps sounded soft, like the ground was swallowing the noise. About 10 minutes in, I noticed something odd. There were no birds anymore. No crickets, no wind, just the violin. And then I saw her, a girl in a pale dress standing in a clearing, playing a violin so old it looked carved from night instead of wood. Her hair covered her face. She didn't move wrong, but she didn't move right either. Like someone who remembered how to be human but got the timing wrong. I whispered, "Hello?" She stopped playing, slowly raised her head. And even through all that hair, I felt her eyes lock onto mine. The violin dangled from her hand. "You heard me," she said in a soft voice. Not warm, not cold, just empty. I stepped back. I was just walking. I shouldn't be here." She tilted her head. "Do you like my song?" I didn't answer. "It's for you," she whispered. "Only for you. No one else hears it the same." I turned to run, but the path behind me wasn't the same. The forest had shifted. Trees stood where the trail should be, like the woods had rearranged themselves while I blinked. The girl stepped closer. "You followed the music. You belong to it now." I shouted, "Stay back!" She smiled, a slow, wrong smile. "When you walk away, I stop playing. That's how I know who's mine." She lifted the violin, ready to play again. I didn't wait. I ran, not toward any path, not toward safety, just away from her. But the forest kept changing. Every time I thought I saw a familiar tree or clearing, something shifted. The girl's melody followed me without fading or echoing, like she was right behind me, but never out of breath. At one point, I swear I saw my own footprints walking ahead of me, like something wearing my shape was trying to lead me deeper. The music grew faster, desperate, demanding. Then it stopped. Not gradually, not naturally. Cut. Silent. I spun around. No girl. No violin. Only Daniel. Standing there. "Thank God," I breathed. "How did you find me?" He didn't answer. His eyes were glassy, unblinking. Then, in a voice that wasn't his, he whispered, "You shouldn't have looked back." My stomach dropped. That wasn't Daniel. Not his tone. Not his expression. He stepped closer. "She likes when you run, but she loves when you trust the wrong face." I stumbled back. "Where's the real Daniel?" He smiled. The same wrong, slow smile the girl had. "When the music stops," he whispered, "someone has to take your place." My chest went cold. I ran again, blindly, breathlessly, until I hit something. Light. Real sunlight. I burst out of the trees and collapsed on the grass behind the house. Daniel, my real cousin, ran to me from the porch, yelling my name. I stared at him, terrified. "Are you real?" He grabbed my shoulders. "Yes, what happened?" I didn't answer. I just hugged him. He was warm. Human. Alive. Behind us, the forest stood silent, watching. That night, I locked every door, every window. But as I tried to sleep,